Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exciting edition of the with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of JTWJE.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. And if you are listening to us on our audio platforms, please download this episode and more episodes, and please consider giving a 5-star rating. I am thrilled because it's the Jake's Take exclusive. I'm very excited to welcome this content creator here. He's making his podcasting debut. He's the author of the popular Pokemon Next Generation fan fiction, which I adore, by the way. And if you're a Pokemon fans or know anyone that's Pokemon fans, you've got to see it because he's a master storyteller. And as of this recording, he has over 14,400 YouTube subscribers, including myself. So please help me welcome Elite Marcus J.A. to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Jacob. This is great. This is my podcast debut. So I'm happy to share everything I can about my Pokemon fan fiction and give a little previews to what's to come.
All righty, we'll get to that in a second, my friend.
Yeah.
However, I'm first, I got to say this in public. I'm one of the commentators. This Pokemon fan fiction is taking the Pokemon fan base by storm. I thought this is probably one of the best original things. And I say this like Zonalith and Satoshi and you are and Ronan are like probably the 4 best storytellers when it comes to Pokemon fan fiction.
That's a good class of group there. So yeah, I take that as a great compliment.
Yes, the thing is, we got to get started about when you get interested in storytelling and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in content creation?
Well, I am an author. That's my job. I write books and publish books. So that all started back when I was 16. Before I got published in my first book, which is called The World of Antheric. It's a fantasy series. I used to write fan fiction of like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And that's when I really got into my craft of writing. And just one day I just said to myself, why am I writing fan fiction? Why do I not create my own stories? And that's where that evolved. But at the same time, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. So I like a lot of people in the fandom, we tend to think about, what would our story be like if we were in the Pokemon world? And that's where Next Generations kind of formed. I started writing it just for my own entertainment. I started writing when I was, I don't know, I was probably 18. I'm 30 now. And so this is going back during the X and Y series. And I created Mark Masters and just his adventure. And it's really me in the Pokemon world. So to see what I could create. And because I have a huge imagination and with my background with fantasy writing, I love the storyline of Pokemon. So I kind of blended all of that together. And and now we're here. And I never imagined back then that I'd bring it to YouTube. I didn't think that could be possible, to be honest.
It's amazing about all that about bringing technology to be able to do to YouTube. And also, what did you look for in creators to bring this vision to life? Because because a lot of people, you not just brought you're bringing in original creations of your own. Well, that's one of them, which by the way is the most terrifying one I have ever seen. Mm-hmm. So what were the standards qualities that you look for in like creators and artists and voice actors that helped you bring this vision to life?
Well, originally when I decided to put Pokemon Next Generation to YouTube, I had 10 episodes out, like they're in the archive. I was the voice actor or the narrator of it, and I didn't really like my accent. I scrapped the whole thing. The views I wasn't getting any views. I didn't know anything about thumbnails. I didn't know, artwork wasn't the best either. But I really wanted to bring the story to YouTube because I knew it had potential. What inspired me was a YouTube creator called Enter the Unknown. He created a what if Ash Ketchum woke up on time, and it was like a multiverse sort of storyline. And just the way his quality of his voice and the way he, could capture the audience, I was like, right, if I'm going to redo this, I need to redo it right. So I did a lot of research on voice actors. We have a great community of Pokemon artists out there. They're in the fandom community. So I work with a lot of them as well to bring visually to help bring it to life. And I'm not too bad with my editing skills, using video editing software. So kind of it all comes together. and you know, having high quality videos is important to me because I know that's what, like, it literally helped the channel blow up. Like, I was on YouTube, I've been on YouTube for years, on and off, making whatever videos. But when I started making the high quality videos, that's when I noticed things were starting to snowball. And literally paying for high quality as well. You know, hiring all these freelance artists who are amazing. The voice actors, Roach, he's been doing the voice, the narration since episode 5. And I was actually unemployed the first 5 episodes, so I was doing everything I could to pay for high quality without having a job. But because I knew, I invested. It's really like an investment if you really want to make it on YouTube and really want to, like, snowball like what I'm doing right now. Is you really have to invest in yourself. And I know it's hard to do that. I've been there, but really, if this is what you want to see as your career, then 100% I would recommend investing in it.
And I gotta say this, it's also hard because I've had some rough challenges and recently,
Yeah,
and it took me a long time to get back to a job and get a paycheck. So it's definitely a challenge to not
yeah,
just keep up with your content creation, but also trying to make sure you make money from your passion.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, that 100%. Yeah, it's a tough road. And it still is. Like, I know I'm in the 14K now. But it's still tough. Like, I still have a day job. I still have my other job in writing too. So, and I do freelance stuff myself. So and another thing, that's one thing, I have a great relationship with all the freelancers that help my videos, because I did it too. I was on sites like Fiverr and Upwork as a ghostwriter and an editor. So that I 100% can relate to them. And I think that's why they also enjoy working with me too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get started. Pokemon Next Generation. We are on Series 1 right now. And
Yeah.
I want to introduce, and all of you know this. You may see some characters that look familiar, and some are not. I want to start off with our trio. They are very
Yeah.
much like in the Ash, Misty, Brock format.
Yes. Yes.
And also I do see one good, one bad, and one very, very evil.
Yeah, I know who that is.
So we got to start this. So we got to talk about so this is it. So let's start with our hero Marcus. So Marcus, there is a lot of similarities. So we'll get to talk about that character in a moment. But there's also Rachel, his girl, his longtime friend, and his Anthony. I gotta say this. There are so many qualities of characters that ring a bell. Anthony reminds me of the Brock type of the group. And if you combine a little bit of Misty, a little bit of May and Serena and Dawn, I think you get Rachel.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, so we'll get on this guy later.
Okay.
But however, why did you decide? There's Mew and Mewtwo. So why was it important to have the two legendary Pokemon Kanto part of this story, this season?
Well, they are very important to the Muse, so they're going to be a big part of it. So I wanted to tease that. I actually have teased it a little bit in the early episodes. That I know some of my subscribers who message me a lot, they didn't notice it at all. So it is, and even Zygarde there as well. So the four of them.
I forgot Zygarde was there.
Yeah, he's small, but yeah, the four of them kind of are gonna be a big deal in the series, and season 1 will end with a movie too. So that it's all leading up to that.
All righty. Ooh, this is the first to hear this. So hopefully, when do you think you'll have this movie up?
The one thing about I don't try to set dates with what I'm doing now, just because I'm not a full-time YouTuber at the moment. It is really hard to make these promises, and life happens. But it 100% will happen. Hopefully by summer. There's still a good few episodes leading up to it, like really exciting episodes. The next one is going to be really exciting too, so definitely keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, no, there's definitely going to be a movie. Hopefully by summer.
All right. So let's continue, shall we? Now let's talk about our main hero, because there is a lot of similarities between Marcus and Ash. It's not just the fans are noticing it, but several members of Ash's core group of support, Delia, his mom, Delia, Go, and Misty, all are gravitating towards Marcus as basically like the son that Ash never had.
Yeah.
And no offense to the Masters family.
Yeah. Well, let's see. The thing is with Mark is, well, first of all, with Ash being, this story is 10 years after Ash Ketchum won the world championship, and he's maintained that title for the 10 years. So he's like the biggest basketball player to what we would have in real life. Like this is his hero. So, and I think a lot of us, especially if we've been a fan of somebody since childhood to teenage years, which Mark is, um, he wants to be like him. So he tries to mimic him. He tries to dress like him. So like that's where it is. It's not just that he was born similar to Ash, but there is a lot of similarities to them. I think the difference is between when Ash was a rookie, when we watched it in the anime, we didn't notice who he looked up to. He could have looked up to Professor Oak, but in the battle styles, he made so many mistakes. He kind of would battle with his heart, not his head. I think Mark does battle with a little bit of both. He's a lot calmer. He's been successful in his first three gym badges, whereas those exact three gym badges, Ash didn't do too well in. I know the first two, they were pretty much handed to him. I know with Surge, he lost originally, and the whole thing about Pikachu maybe evolving, and then he eventually did win. But I think with Mark, he's had a better start than Ash did because he has so many mentors. He has his father, who's a gym leader and a famous researcher. His grandfather also has success in winning Pokemon leagues. His grandfather, yeah, and then he has Ash. He looked up to him, idolized him. So I think that's what the big difference is. Mark kind of uses his head more in battles. He still makes mistakes. We noticed in the last one, he used moves that didn't work on the Voltorb, and he let the battle get away with it. But definitely that would be the big difference is Mark would use his head, Ash used his heart a lot, and we're going to see Mark doing that more. They're going to get more similar as the time goes, and we'll see Mark coming into his own, whereas Ash was always very brave, very gutsy, like we saw in the first Pokemon movie where he tried to punch Mewtwo, and then where Mark, he struggles with anxiety. That's why I kind of want a lot with my trio to have their own little um kind of things that people can relate to in real life. So Mark, as we saw in episode 17, the Christmas special, that he went through a lot of trauma, what happened in Johto, and that he got anxiety disorder because of that. And we've seen it in the first episode where he was almost not going to go on a journey because of the shiny Skarmory capturing him. And he sees how brave and confident his triplet brothers are, and he sees what his dad is also one of his heroes. So that would be the big difference between the two.
Awesome. So we got to get to our little villain, Mr.
Uh-oh.
Musi. One of the most terrifying. I told you this when I private message on Instagram. One of the most terrifying, nightmarish, and original villains I have ever seen in this thing. It reminds me so much of a Venom. It reminds me so much of Myotismon. I think and Dark Spectre from Power Rangers, when I initially told you. So how did we get in mind with this nasty villain?
Well, originally when I started writing this fan fiction just for my own entertainment, it was going to be a Mew tree, which I feel like that's if anyone was creating a fan fiction and they wanted another Mew clone, I think that would be the default thing to do as a Mew tree. But I wanted to be different, and at that time, when I was creating fan fiction, X and Y was airing. So even then, I was like, oh, maybe I could do a thing where he's not just cloned by the essence of Mew and the essence of Mewtwo, but maybe he has Zygarde cells, and that's what comes into play with his green orbs and his green eyes. That's the little bit of Zygarde in him. So I was like, Mewzy, okay, that's a cool name. It's catchy. And then I wanted as well to create the first truly evil Pokemon. There's no redemption story for him. He is purely evil. He was created to be a weapon. I know Mewtwo was as well, but there was elements with Mewtwo that he was more troubled, and he did have a redemption story where Mewzy, purely evil. He has a little bit of Vecna. Anyone that watches Stranger Things, if you notice, it's this formed hand that's inspired by Vecna. Truly evil. He doesn't like Pokemon or humans. Where Vecna as well, he hated the existence of humans and how they live their life. So Mewzy is that. He wants to control the world. And for him to get stronger, he has to drain not only the power, he drains the life. He kills Pokemon to get stronger, and he purely evil. There's a lot of echinite into him, Ultron, and I don't know if many people watch professional wrestling, WWE. There was a character called Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, and his mentality is very similar to Muzi. He was called the Eater of Worlds. So Muzi definitely has that in him, and yeah, there's going to be it's going to continue to get darker, and that's what I wanted to bring to this fan fiction series, because for me, I would love, my dream would be to see a little bit more mature Pokemon, and it's never going to be graphic. Like, we're not going to see, like blood or things like that in my series, but I think there can still be a more mature element to Pokemon, especially for the fans like me who started watching in the 90s. I would love a more mature series. So that's what I'm trying to bring as well. A bit darker, a bit like the manga. I don't know if you ever read the manga. That's quite more mature, bit dark as well. So that kind of energy I'm bringing into my series, especially now that it's 10 years past. So a lot of the characters we know are adults now. So I think it is fitting to make it a more mature series.
And it's a really good. And by the way, when I saw Jirachi on your thing, and you're like, we
You
going
did.
back and forth, I nailed it. But also, I
You
said,
called it.
quote Whoopi Goldberg, Jirachi, you're in danger, girl.
Yeah, you definitely called
And,
that.
and I was like, poor little. And I said in your Instagram, I said, because I knew what was going to happen, I said, do Z. There's a thing called do. I'm not sir, or do T, because that rhymes with Muzi.
Yes, you did. No, you called it. And unfortunately, the reason why I chose Jirachi for that scene is because of the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I just thought, how could, like especially in horror movies, when you have like children yeah, like poems or whatever music, and you bring that into like a horror scene, and it's just creepy as hell. That's the scene. And I'm the voice of Muzi, so it was fun doing that doing that little creepy like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star version in a horror version of it.
Oh yeah, that was definitely, your voice acting is really good. Very
See, I
sinister
love playing
vibes.
characters. I'm okay with voicing characters. It's the narration I don't enjoy. I think it's because I am Irish. I don't like my accent. I don't like hearing it back. But I'm a very good impressionist. I'm good at changing my voice but I have to play a character to do it. I can't just change my voice for narration. Um, but I love playing characters, especially villains. I love doing that.
Oh, by the way, I think this is an idea. If you got the Michael Jackson thing involved, I would love to hear Muzi do the Thriller Vincent Price's while we're out.
Oh yeah, why not? We could definitely get that in there somehow.
Yeah, because the thing, and to have that sinister laugh, it was
Ah,
just like.
yeah,
And
I can do it.
the thing is, while I'm on Muzi, I'm like thinking of something, because we know that Dr. Young, his creator, who's more evil. Like, I think
Well,
Muzi
he's
has a
one of the
little more.
creators.
Yeah, the
Mm.
creator. And there's something about him that reminds me, did Dr. Young insert his cells, Giovanni's cells, and gets his cells in? Because there's a thing is like, you have the nastiest Pokemon alive.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have the essence of the most sinister characters of that world? Giovanni,
Mm-hmm.
Getsis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very surprised that Lucamine was not in that group.
Well, to see more of the evil characters are being revealed, and a lot of them are either in prison or they have died from that big war. But there is a lot more. There's more in this group that we know so far. I know I brought in Evice from Pokemon Coliseum,
And
and
he's
that's
perfect. Everyone was
uh,
calling him Dr. Eggman.
yes, I did too. He that's what they probably are an inspiration of each other, one or the other. But yeah, I wanted him in it. I loved Pokemon Coliseum as a kid, and I love that story, that element, and that's what I want to bring into my series as well. Some of the non, main series games, I want to bring in some characters there. We'll probably see some manga characters as well. But yeah, he's definitely a big part of the music creation. But Dr. Young, yeah, he was a big one. There is more, and we're going to see a lot more of them. And with Muzi, yeah, there's definitely, it's not really a spoiler, but there's definitely a bit of human DNA in him. He's not just a Pokemon. Like, even a lot of people, a lot of subscribers have commented and said he doesn't really look like a Pokemon. And I was like, well, he's not. He is, but he's not. He is a Pokemon, but a lot more than that.
And come to think of it, I'm looking right now. There's a certain gym leader, or maybe evil person that is in jail right now that has the structures, the face shape. I'm guessing right now one of the most sinister of them all, Giovanni. And I'm calling it. I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Okay, yeah, you could be right. No, you could be right. I think with Mewtwo, I think in the manga, it was Blaine, the fire type gym leader, because he has a science background. I think it was his DNA that was in Mewtwo, and they never brought it into the anime. But definitely, we could see something like that with Mewsy, because yeah, he's mixed with a lot of legendaries, even more than the four that I've mentioned, the Zygarde and the two Mews. But there's definitely a lot more in him. There is human in him, and that now all he wants now is power. So he's draining every mythical legendary that he can get his hands on.
All righty, so we gotta leave Mewsy behind and talk about previewing what's to come with the future next generation. So I have the Ashes Angels: Iris, Dawn, Serena, Misty, and May. So Ashes Angels discovered Mewsy while trying to rescue him and Pikachu. So when will the five say, oh, by the way, there's a monster unleashed upon the world, and by the way, they have Ash and Pikachu? How will they reveal it to the gang?
So all of Ash's past companions are all kind of involved in this. What we've seen with the Ash's Angels, there's different groups. I know a lot of people are saying, "Where's the Alola gang? Where's So a lot of them are currently. It's a big world. It's a big Pokemon world now, and a lot of them are forming their own little groups. So I thought it'd be cool to have the first 5 Pokegirls together. So yeah, and so there is going to be more. We will see more episodes like that. With other companions or other past friends, they go on other missions once we get leads. Now that they found the layer where Mewsy was created, but as we saw in the end of that episode, it was torn up. It exploded. So they're now they're further in their mission. They know what might have Ash. It wasn't confirmed that he does have Ash, but we know Mewsy knows where he is. Because he said you'll never find them. But well, that could be a telepathic thing, because Mewsy can now see it all. If he looks at somebody, he can see everything of their past. We seen that in the tease when he first came into the series.
Which, by the way, I cannot watch to this day.
Can you not know? It is scary, isn't it?
Yeah, because the thing is, and he has zeroed in on Marcus. I think he zeroed in on Marcus.
If he isn't now, he will. He will. Like, he sees everybody, so he probably has glanced at Mark, and but all I'll say is very, very soon, sooner than you think, they're going to lock eyes on each other. Whatever that might do, we don't know. Mewsy might not do anything. He might dismiss him, might see him as weak. He sees all humans as weak, but they are going to lock eyes very, very soon.
Oh wow, and that's going to be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought Sabrina was I want to bring Sabrina bring back the Sabrina pinpoint, because we saw during one of Anthony's trials that Sabrina looked into Mark's soul and Mark was not happy. So
he was terrified.
He was terrified. Is Sabrina for his first test to see what Mewsy has in store? Potentially have in store?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. She is going to have a big part, more than just a gym leader, I'll say. Out of all the past gym leaders that are coming back to the series, she's definitely going to be there. She definitely senses something with Mark. Could be that she thinks maybe he's the savior. It could be maybe he's a threat. A threat to her, like to her gym. So there is something she does sense with him. But for her, there is a lot going to be happening. I can't reveal too much because it is going to be a big surprise. But do expect to see a lot of Sabrina, and maybe in the second part of the first season. It's going to be a surprise. And you have to remember as well with Musi being psychic, and Sabrina being psychic too. I think there was a past with Sabrina where her psychic abilities trying to be used as a weapon as well. So there could be an alliance there.
Or there's also Caitlin as well, and there's another psychic which could be either because Caitlin is also famous for her mood swings.
Yes, that's true. Yep, 100%. Yeah.
All right, so what did you say about Caitlin?
No, and I just think it all could end up being connected. That's all I can say, without revealing too much. But definitely expect to see big things with Sabrina soon.
All righty. So it's not just Sabrina that's going to have an impact, but already Marcus has started to win over his generation of gym leaders. Sergeant Shara is definitely the first one on the Mark fan club. However, we also seen Forrest and Rain also get on the fan club. And by the way, I think there's more to Rain and Marcus than meets the eye, because there is definitely a chemistry there.
Yeah, definitely. See, Rain. So in my series, anyone who hasn't seen it, you can't become a trainer at 10 years old anymore. I wanted to up that age just to have more mature characters. So Rain became a gym leader in 6 months or something like that. Because his cousin is Misty, and he was trained before he could become a trainer. So that's how he took over the gym. There was a tournament, and he took over the gym. So he's almost a seasoned trainer at the age of 15. So he's the same age as Mark. So he probably sees Mark, someone who's at his age, but is catching up to him pretty fast without having a champion cousin to mentor him and things like that. So I think that's where there's probably more of a mutual respect between the two than a friendship.
And same with Forrest, I think is it like more of a mutual respect or a friend, or do you think there's more?
I think so. I think with Rain and Forrest, the similarities, they're very macho, kind of serious gym leaders. But I think they would 100% respect Mark and his tactics to win. I think they'd see a lot of that in themselves. So yeah, I do think friendship. I probably could see it happening 100%. They're all similar ages, but 100%. I think it's more of a respect thing.
I think I totally agree. But however, I think Sergeant Sharon declared herself the big honorary big sister.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, she has a lot of love for Mark. And I even get messages from subscribers telling me that they want to ship them. They want them to have a romance. I don't know. We could see. She is a bit older than Mark. But yeah, 100%. Big sister. She could see, because she went through trauma too. She lost her dad, and she probably didn't want to continue. She probably seen a lot what Mark was going through at the beginning, not wanting to become a trainer, but knew how much passion he would have for it and how much potential he has. But I think when she saw that dream fading for him, she wanted to do what she could to, give him that pep talk. She gave the red gloves he wears are actually her father's when he was a young trainer. So I think that's why she was drawn to him, because she's seen that in herself. When we saw in the episode where she wouldn't use her father's Raichu in battle since he died. So, and now they're going on an adventure together. So yeah, so I think she sees a lot of herself in Mark. She wants the best for him. So yeah, definitely 100% the big sister role.
And I gotta say, while we bring up you brought up Raichu, so I'm going to bring it up. There's another Raichu out there that belongs to Go, and there's also Marcus's Pichu, and there's both of them are very fond of each other, and many people suspect that this could be a potential offspring.
100%. Yeah, it could happen. We know Pichu was taken by poachers. So she could have came from anywhere. She could have been an egg. She probably didn't even know who her parents were. Her parents probably lost her. So it's a safe bet. We could say she is.
Yeah, because I could definitely see tear eyes when both on both Raichus, and also not to mention Go's quick jump to get Pichu to safety after she was knocked out. That's a clue right there as well.
Well, yeah, like Pokemon, they have great senses. She probably doesn't know what Ray the Pichu is to her, so she's gravitated in anyway. But we did see in the anime, the canon anime, that that Raichu is a very loving, caring Pokemon. Like she was always handing people berries after battles and giving them flowers. So that she does have that motherly nature. But there could be a lot more to that than that we see.
That meets the eye.
Yes, exactly.
Speaking of more than meets the eye, we do have we in the holiday special, you did reveal that Anthony didn't, yes, indeed, has hatred of Team Rocket involved his mom being forced to work for them.
Yes.
And also, there's also a scene in that holiday special I want to bring up where Anthony's attacked by a Persian, particularly might be Giovanni's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it is.
also, he was saved by a feraligator, which a lot of Pokemon fans know as Silver, that belongs to Silver's feraligator. So does it what as know that Anthony has a hatred towards Silver and Persian, how will that come into play if Silver reveals that he was the one that saved Anthony?
I think with Anthony, he's a very stubborn character. I don't think him finding that out, it might intrigue him, but I think it wouldn't change a lot. Because it's famously known for Silver to also hate Giovanni and hate Team Rocket. That could be for like him getting his feraligator to water gun the Persian could have just been for his own entertainment. We don't know. So and Anthony as well, he I don't feel like he at the moment would change his mind or his opinion of Silver would change that much, but that's because he's very stubborn. I think any other character would be like, oh, okay, he's not as bad as I think, but I think Anthony has so much hatred. There's going to be a big storyline between Anthony and Mark with the whole Darius Mark's Meowth, and where Mark will not understand. He will understand why Anthony has a trauma towards that Pokemon, but Mark can see all Pokemon are different. Just because they're the same species as Pokemon doesn't mean Darius is going to be like Team Rocket's Meowth or it's going to be like Giovanni's Persian. Darius has a history of saving Pokemon. He was in a group with Meowths that rescued Pokemon that were taken by poachers. So Mark will find that hard to deal with. Be like, well, Darius is a great Pokemon. He's a loving, caring member of the team, and you hate him just because he's a Meowth. So that's going to cause a big rift in the trio.
And we saw that rift, and like when it's revealed, do you think is that a level like he can that Marcus could say, this is like I'm sorry, Anthony, but this is a deal breaker, or do you?
It's gonna.
Really?
It's gonna be. It's not gonna be like what we saw in the anime before, where I don't think we ever saw Ash and Brock kind of have an argument, but like it's not gonna be like the little skits we'd see with Ash and Misty like fighting with each other. This is gonna make them potentially separate for a while. Because Mark loves his Pokemon; they're his family, and we're gonna see like how far is Anthony gonna go with him bottling things up. There could be a scene where he does the ultimate disrespect to Darius that could cause Mark to be like, no, this isn't what we do to our Pokemon, and especially to each other's Pokemon. So it is going to get intense pretty soon.
And if, by the way, if I remember correctly, Mark can stay in King Kanto if he stays remaining traveling with his team. So if do you think the Masters might say if this is not going to work out, you need to get back to Johto now?
He might. Well, I'm sure if he can prove that he has grown, which he has, like it's been on the news, them saving or defeating the poachers and the rogue Zapdos as well. That was on the news. So they're definitely seeing their son grow, and he's not the anxious boy that they knew. I think if it was Maven or Malcolm, his brothers, if they wanted to go with Rachel and Anthony at the beginning, I think they would have allowed them without question. It's just with Mark's history of trauma and his generalized anxiety disorder. I think that's why they were more concerned. They wouldn't think be able for it. But he's definitely proven that he has grown and he's finding himself. So they might allow it. That is definitely something to consider, that they might worry that he's not with the oldest member of the group. But I could also imagine Rachel more so siding with Mark in this situation, because even though she has that fear of poison types, she's never really she's never really like hated them like how Anthony hates Darius, I think. And especially what we will see, I don't think she would ever be that disrespectful to any poison types. So I think we might see her siding more with Mark in that. But yeah, but we'll just have to see.
All right. Speaking, he brought them Malcolm and Maven up.
Maven, yeah.
We have what?
Yeah, Malcolm and Maven. That's it.
Malcolm and Maven. We haven't seen a peep from them, and their parents haven't reported in from them. So will we see Malcolm and Maven and what they've been up to? And will their disappearance focus be a detour on Marcus's journey?
Yes. Mark's going to be surprised when he does see his brothers again. More so surprised of their status. All I'll say is Maven and Malcolm, even though they are traveling together, their status is night and day. They're completely different trainers, different mentality, different ways of winning. So Mark will be surprised at that. There's also going to be a bit of tension between them and Mark, because and a few people have said it to me before. It's like, gosh, he just kind of ditched his brothers very easily. He just went to Kanto, and these two people he met, Rachel and Anthony, he just met them, and he's traveling with them and not his brothers. So there could be a bit of tension there, that, like, they probably don't want anything to do with Mark. Probably that's why he hasn't heard from them. They probably were a bit hurt. I don't think Mark meant that intentionally. I think he's always been in his brother's shadow, that he wanted to travel Kanto alone, even without I don't think it was really about wanting to travel with Rachel and Anthony. He wanted to travel in Kanto because that's where his hero made his start, and he wanted to do the same. He wanted to follow those footsteps. So, but I don't think his brothers are going to see it that way. So there will be a bit of tension there.
All right, so there's a lot. So Marcus does have a lot of tension. And speaking of tension, we saw Mew have a new acolyte, a redheaded, mysterious woman that actually kidnapped Ash at the very beginning. Now, many people have been thinking about this redheaded lieutenant's woman. Is she the offspring of Jesse and James, Giovanni and Ariana? What is this woman?
She could be. Well, she's definitely going to have a big part as well. We're going to get a reveal. Not too far off. We're not too far off for her reveal. Is she a character we know? Probably. Is she wearing a wig? Probably. So don't just take the red hair as who she could be. I'm trying to keep her definitely a big surprise. But yeah, she's going to have a big part to play. She's going to be almost the second in command. I don't think she is right now, but she's definitely going to lead armies for Musi. So he sees a lot of potential in her. He sees that she's more than just a typical weak human. So she's going to be probably the biggest female villain of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's big, because they're known for Pokemon. There's only a few Pokemon female villains out there.
Yeah.
Ariana, Jessie, and Hunter J.
Yeah, but like Ariana's never made the anime, and then Jessie, there's such a lovable side to Jessie too. With this redhead, the mass woman, I call her for now. She's like Musi. She's evil. I don't think there's redemption for her either. Yeah.
Alrighty, and it looks like Advice could be the Babu or Squad of the bunch.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Alrighty, I think we have the future reigns, because I know that we have a train Cinnabar Island to go to. We have Rachel has a contest to win, and we have a fourth badge coming.
We do have a fourth badge, and what I'll say is this one isn't going to be as easy as the first three. And I'm not saying the first three were easy. There's no advantages for Mark now in the battles. It's an even playing field. the Pokemon, the challenges are going to get stronger. So he's definitely going to meet his match here. So and as well, I wanted to change the formula where because the fire gym is usually the second last in the anime and the games. So now we're kind of skipping. So we're going to badge number 4. It's going to be the fire. So it's going to be a tough one for him, and it's going to be a tough road to get there as well.
Like Ash versus Whitney and Ash versus Claire.
A bit, yeah. Like the next gym leader, I don't mind revealing this it's a female gym leader. She's the granddaughter of Blaine.
Granddaughter of Blaine.
Her name is Scorcha.
Scorcha.
Yeah, Blaine was quite. He was an older. Yeah, Scorcha. Yeah. In Ireland, there's a name called Sorcha. It's an Irish name, and I just kind of got the name of maybe Scorcha just to give a little nod to that. But yeah, she's the granddaughter of Blaine, and her brother will be involved in that episode too. So we'll be meeting some more OC characters again. I like creating OC characters for the series. Kind of expands it a little bit, but and there will be I'll say there's going to be an OG face they'll meet in Cinnabar Island. Not a friendly OG face. We're going back to like the original, a character that was in the original like series, and not a nice character as well. She'll be making an appearance in Cinnabar Island as well.
Looks like he has like samurai. So like I'm trying to figure out, who did Ash have a bad connection with?
There was a few. She was quite nasty.
Nasty. That's great tease for that. So we got to talk, like, I got to say this, Pokemon Next Generation is great. And like, I know fans are screaming for second season. So I'm like, second season.
100% there's going to be a second season. I promised, not just myself, but anyone I've talked to, that I'm doing 3 seasons. So I don't know if you're familiar with the phases in Marvel, where Marvel had like phase 1 and phase 2.
Absolutely.
Season 1 to 3 is my phase 1. And I said to myself, if I can reach 50,000 subscribers, or if I can even do this full time, I'll continue. I'll do 4th season, 5th season. I'll keep going as long as I can keep doing it. But 100%, regardless of the status of the channel, we're getting 3 seasons. So they're all going to be closely connected to each other.
Awesome. And seriously, you are more than welcome to T season 2. And who knows, maybe there's a podcasting role that interviews the characters along the way.
That would be great. Yeah, no, that would be great. Well, what I could say for season 2 right now, it's really too early to say anything, but I can say is that it is going to be the main storyline is all connected, but it's going to be in a different region. And I think that'll be fun when we get close to that. I might do little competitions where subscribers can guess, what the next region's going to be. I know a lot of people. I get a lot of messages. A lot of people think it's going to be Unova. I do love the black and white games, but it can be any of them. We don't. I know which one it's going to be, but I haven't teased anything yet. But like, we'll see.
I might just do a little quick thing here and let me make a prediction here, and I could be wrong about this.
Okay, yeah.
There are 2 regions that has very, very, very 3 if you count them. My top 3 has very close ties to Ash. The first one is the big one, Alola, his second.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no way in heck that Kukui and any of his friends would sit idly by.
No. No. Definitely
so
not.
I have a feeling Alola is already being shaken up by this. And like, I could see, I know that you're teasing them, they may be coming on like missions and everything. So another one is Kalos. Now that Serena that's where he met his fiance, and almost won one of his most difficult, and he almost won the championship for Kalos.
He did,
and also he saved the region from Lysander.
Yes, they're
the third. You want to know the third region?
What's that?
Galar, where he finally won everything. Those are my top 3 regions that I think that might take place.
Okay, yeah. Now, it could be one of those things where, well, if you can remember in the early episodes, Mark promised that if when he's finished in Kanto, that he has to go to Johto for his granddad, because his granddad is really pro Johto. Everything is about Johto. But there could be something that could force his hand to travel in a different region. It could still be Johto, but there's something could force his hand to make him go somewhere else. So we'll see.
I have a sneaky suspicion, and I'll talk to you after, and I'll get off the mic because I think I said too much. So
okay.
So right, we got to start. We cannot leave our interview without talking about Pokemon Adventures audio series. I think it's a brilliant idea that you did. It's a great change of pace. So why did you decide to narrate Pokemon Adventures?
So again, I would probably have never got into Pokemon fan fiction without the Adventures of Red. There's just something about that story that I just loved it. There's also a ROM hack game of that I've watched YouTubers play it, and it goes in depth to that story, that world. So I was just really drawn to it. And I also felt like with any manga, a lot of it, because it's a visual appealing, thing that you don't really need many details and words. And me being a writer, I wanted to expand it, so it's almost like a reboot kind of version. But yeah, so that's going to be purely audio. It's kind of like my quick hit videos. While people are waiting for next generation, they can have a little listen to the manga. And I should have the second episode out probably by this weekend.
Awesome. So we got to talk about your amazing YouTube growth, because when I first discovered you, you were at 4,000, I believe.
And was I when you started?
I could be wrong, because you started the first episode. When was the first episode released? Because I was immediately hooked.
Oh, so I was only on like 1,000 subscribers when I did the first episode.
Oh my God. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, everybody. I got my facts wrong, because I discovered when we released the first episode, I was like, oh my God, I'm hooked.
Yeah. That and how I even got 1,000 subscribers, because my YouTube channel, I deleted all the videos, but I used to just be a gaming channel. Like I used to do horror games, and like it was all a mix of different games. And I like the video growth was poor, but I was getting subscribers. The channel went in hibernation mode for a good year or so. And then that's when I came back with the next generations. And when I posted that first video, I said, look, if I don't get at least 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 views, I'm done. I was like, this isn't for me. I'm not good at it. And then I got, like, within a few days, I got 20,000. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm onto something now. Maybe this, like, investing and making quality videos, it's working. And it has. We're a year now, maybe coming up to a year since I posted that episode 1, and 14,000 subscribers. Like that is really hard to do. I feel lucky. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones. I feel like there's a lot of content creators out there that probably make better videos than me, and they're struggling to get views. It's really like a luck of the draw. It's really what YouTube want to push. So try to keep on YouTube's good side. That's another bit of advice I would give to people. So yeah, it's crazy. It's been a crazy snowball.
And it has been a really good one as well. So I'm so proud of all your journey. And I just realized there's a Charmander hat.
That's Charlie the Charmander.
I love Charlie. And by the way, a lot of people have been saying Charlie the Charmeleon, Charlie the Charizard.
Yeah. Well, she might evolve. We'll see. A lot of people are thinking she's not going to, but I might be just waiting for the right epic, give you chills sort of moment. It won't be. All I'll say is this: her, if she does evolve, and when that time comes, she will have probably the best evolution of the series. It won't just be just a little evolution graphic that I've been doing for the other Pokemon. It could or could not be a full-blown animation.
Yeah, that could be, which could be great. So last question, are you ready?
Yes.
Where can my audience connect with you on social media? And more importantly, why should they watch Pokemon The Next Generation?
Because it's the best fan fiction on YouTube. I'm joking. But I think I'm doing something different than the other creators that do the what ifs. I bring in new characters and characters I create. I might have that little advantage being an author. I create characters every day. I write a book full of original characters. So I think that's what makes me a bit different than the others. You know, I'm a Pokemon fan who's also an author, and you blend that together, I can create my own universe in Pokemon. So I think that's what makes me different. I try to use real life storylines as well. I put those little elements into my story as well. So you're not just meeting these new characters, they're not just random trainers. They're people that you can relate to. So I think that's what makes me a little bit different than the others. And if you want to connect with me, I am on Instagram, EliteMJA. So you'll find me there. That's probably the best place to find me. And I'm also on X Twitter with the same name, EliteMJA.
Alrighty, guys. If you miss an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JTWJE. Now are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOB and you want to find out all of my pop culture stuff regarding the DC, Marvel universes, some of my past interviews, what's going on with America's Got Talent, Masked Singer, head to jakes-chick.com, the blog started it all, jakes-chick.com. Marcus, it was such a thrill. Thank you so much for trusting my platform to being your very first conversation. And I pray that we talk about after the season of movie and preview season 2.
100%. Thank you for having me. This has been an honor. And, all the best to you. It's been great. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.